Downtown Sports. Jonathan Perriente. Welcome back. Downtown Sports. Jonathan Perriente, Beast of the East on the air, joined by the Mouth of the South, John Schiavone.
What's good, Brooklyn? How you doing? It's trade deadline, trade talks, and is it almost 4 o'clock?
Yeah. Yes, it is. The deadline is just about ended.
It is 4 o'clock. It is over, and Kris, Carlos, you two guys know what you need to do. You need to get ready for our segment at 4:30,
where we will grade the team's trade deadline moves, the Mets and the Yanks, and we'll grade the other teams as well. Why not we do that as well?
We own your souls, baseball. Right. But for right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to toss it over to the Beast of the East, John Perriente. He's got some very interesting guests. They're kind of staring at me. One of them is kind of staring at me right now. I kind of wish we had a video camera because this guy looks like he wants to kill me.
Watch out for that guy.
Well, thank you, John.
I will clothesline somebody. Don't mess with me. Well, this music stand is my weapon. Don't mess with me.
Well, you've heard it here. You know, I always believe we're a show that likes to shake things up a little bit. You know what I mean, John? Kind of shake things up, do things a little different.
I love how you're the one that says that you like to shake things up. Yeah, I'm the crazy guy.
Well, we've been teasing it for a few weeks. We're going to bring wrestling into the forefront today on Downtown Sports, and we are pleased to welcome two very special guests here today. The absolute Kris Kage, pro wrestler of 2KW Pro Wrestling, ring announcer, AJ Orsini. We're very happy to have both of you guys here.
I love how you just called him
Sports.
A ring announcer.
Ring announcer, pretty much a man who does about everything within the business.
Yeah, I don't think there's a title I don't have in this business. Yeah. So I guess we'll start off with a ring announcer, and by the end of this interview, I'll probably be something else. So.
Well, that's what I remember you did as well. I mean, it's a great. We're very happy to have both of you guys here, and thank you for taking some time to join us here, guys.
Thank you for having us, guys.
Absolutely. So, AJ, I'm going to start with you first. 2KW Pro is a wrestling organization in New York City. It started in December of 1999 as 2KW. It then became 2KW Pro. It was rebooted as 2KW Pro.
That's right.
I wanted you to first describe for me the history of 2KW Pro a little bit and really how the industry came into existence.
Well, it came into the existence as a thought process between our upper management guys who told me up and down 3 ways from Sunday not to mention them by name. So I won't, but they'll be referred to as 2KW upper management. It's the original management. It's the same guy has been in charge since 1999, and he had a very clear vision. Let's have fun.
Absolutely.
And that's where it began, and that's what we've kept up until this point. We made some renovations along the way. We've gotten older and gotten smarter and gotten a little bit more business savvy. And right now, this version of 2KW Pro will be its absolute best version from 1999 all the way until now. You'll never see another 2KW show like the one you're going to see on August 9th.
Talking with AJ Orsini and Kris Kage of 2KW Pro. Kris, throwing a question to you here. You've been in 2KW Pro since 2006. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts. What got you into wrestling? If there was
John, I don't want to cut you off, but we have some breaking news. David Price has been traded to the Tigers, a blockbuster deal.
Wow.
More to come at 4:30. Back to you, John.
All right, thank you, Carlos.
Wait, forget August 9th. David Price is in Detroit?
Yes, he is.
He just got traded, yeah.
And you put him with Verlander and Scherzer. Wow, what a rotation that's going to be.
More like a replacement for Verlander, almost.
Yeah, in a way.
All right, back to wrestling.
Yes, we'll get back to that in a little bit. All right, Kris, back to you just a sec. So if there was any wrestler that you looked up to that got you into, that really made you say, hey, wrestling is something I want to do, who would it be?
That is a very easy answer. That, I have to say, is a tie between two performers, and that would be the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, the greatest world champion of all time.
Wow, and they've been tremendous wrestlers in their career. Ric Flair, still here and there, can put on a good match. I believe he gave Bray Wyatt recently a black eye at Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah,
a while
still
back.
Can do it better than anybody alive.
Still the dirtiest player in the game, and you have to love and respect that. Absolutely. AJ, I want to get your thoughts a little bit more about 2KW Pro and what makes it different from many of the other wrestling promotions that, not just here in the U.S., but around?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah. How has this organization been able to bring fans and audience and athletes here to this business?
I got to tiptoe a little bit on that one because that can get me a little red hot sometimes discussing that. But
tag me in if you need help.
Yeah, well, here's the deal when it comes to 2KW Pro. Well, actually, no, let me take a step back. Before I get to the 2KW Pro part, let's talk about the business that we're talking about.
Of course, 2KW
this
originally.
there it is. Oh, my
wrestling.
goodness.
You're getting me a little excited over here.
Yeah, no, hold on a second. That's not good for John. All right, he already started off on the wrong foot with this guy. Hold on, we got to simmer that down. I don't want him to get too antsy over there. The business as a whole, the way that I was always raised to believe it in my training is if you're not having fun with it, there's really no point in being in it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of success, a lot of notoriety that can come with it, but that comes down the line, years of training. Like, if you don't have the passion to be in this business, you don't get to that.
Yep.
So, 2KW Pro is one of those companies and has been one of those companies since the word go that, if you're not having fun and you don't need to be here, go wrestle somewhere else. You're going to make your money somewhere else. We're a very tight-knit locker room. Have been since the beginning. We've had a few eggheads, but those eggheads aren't here anymore. Like I said before,
naming names, anybody?
Oh, well, see, that's the thing. I gotta stay away from stuff like that because, like I said, we're wiser and smarter because I'm getting into trouble a lot with stuff like that. But 2KW Pro is locker room, very tight knit group. We are as professional as it gets, but we also like to have a whole lot of fun, and that's. The way we feel about it is if we're having fun out there, the audience is having fun. Absolutely. And there's a lot of companies out there. This is where I start to get into a little bit of trouble because there's a lot of companies, not just in this business, but in this city that don't do that. And I think that's what's going to separate us from everybody else because, for the ticket money that you're going to spend for our ticket, you're going to have fun. Yeah. If you go to their show, you're going to be bored out of your mind. You're going to see the same people who really can't do professional wrestling. They claim to be professional wrestlers, but they really, they took their tax return and went to a school and spent a month there, and all of a sudden they want to go to NXT. So that's not going to be what you're going to see at our show. You're going to see a bunch of guys who are trained to do this sport, this entertaining sport, as well as give you a good time inside the ring. I mean, that's basically straight and simple to the point.
Well, I mean, I could so follow up and get you in a lot of trouble. I'm considering whether I should do it or not.
Go for it.
Oh, God, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that because then I'll never announce and I'll never be play for another wrestling gig again.
Please, don't tell him, please.
Because I will. The thing is, though, so... Your wrestling organization, you said what sets you apart is you guys like to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
But what really sets you apart in terms of the types of performers that you bring in, types of matches that you have? I mean, because every wrestling organization, okay, yeah, they got their typical match, their hardcore match or whatever else. Have you put any swings on matches that are specifically to your company that nobody else can offer?
Allow me to chime in there, may I?
Go for it.
Sure.
Well, one thing about 2KW, I'm going to say a couple things about 2KW that set us apart. You have a collection of characters because to me, just like we're going back in the day here. I'm talking back to the 80s, the greatest era of professional wrestling. Nothing stood out like the colorful characters.
Duke the Dumpster Droese,
That's it. Even the Dumpster Droese. What's funny is 25 years later, you still remember that man's name.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.
Well, if you watch the gimmick battle royal in WrestleMania, I think it was 17 or something.
Which 17. I did at the edge of my seat.
Oh, yeah. But in 2KW, what you got more than colorful characters. You have an array of talent that comes from far and wide. I'm talking about from our area across the country. We're talking about guys of all different weight classes.
Wow.
Big, small, fat, tall, skinny, the whole deal. You're going to get them all at 2KW. And when to answer your question about specific matches that have to do with our company, all I can say is that at this show, you're probably going to get a top-to-bottom, clean, scientific. And, hey, there might be a couple of surprises, so who knows. But I guarantee you, as time goes along, you will have some concepts that will be recognized with 2KW and 2KW alone.
Talking with AJ Orsini and Kris Kage of 2KW Pro. Kris, you mentioned about other wrestlers and where they're all from, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on what it's like to perform with these fellow athletes. What's it like inside a 2KW Pro wrestling ring?
Constant pressure. Constant pressure, because 2KW has always been an organization that tries to collect the top talent or the most potential-filled talent. in our area and in the surrounding area, and as far as we can reach. And being in the locker room as a performer, it means to always stay on top of your game.
Of course.
Because there's always someone looking for that top spot, always someone looking for that main event, and one bad night could be the end of you.
Wow.
You know, to latch on to something that he said before, not to beat a dead horse when it comes to what separates us apart, he actually said something that reminded me of something, not just colorful characters, but characters you can give a crap about. How many shows do people go to now where they're, they'll bring in one WWE Hall of Famer, but there's about 19 guys you've never heard of, that they've never promoted, that you'll never see again for the rest of your life, and you'll go through, and these guys will come through the curtain, and you won't know how to react because you've never seen it before. Whereas with our particular show, with this particular show in particular, because like I said, we're renovating, so we're starting over from scratch here. We basically just took the old format, threw it away, and we're doing something all new. You can go to the website 2kwpro.com. You can check out the YouTube page. You can check out the Facebook and get to meet the characters.
Wow.
You're going to see them doing these promos and talking about not just the match on August 9th, I'm going to kick your face in. No, this is how I feel. I don't like you because you did this. And on August 9th, I'm going to smack you around the ring because you did this. And if you survive this, I may smack you around in September. That type of deal. He mentioned 80s.
With an edge, kind of
right,
wrestling with an edge.
He mentioned the 80s. There was a lot of storytelling back there. There's a lot of storytelling in the 90s and even going into the 2000s. And somewhere along the way, it just fluttered away and became all about making money.
Speaking of that, AJ, do you feel like the wrestling has changed over the years? Is it the same like what it used to be in the 80s? Or has it really taken a little different turn?
I think the style, the way that it's presented has changed a lot. The WWE is by far, obviously, the leader in this particular genre of entertainment and sport. So basically, it's whatever Vince decides in his head, the rest of us kind of have to trickle down and keep up. So I think the presentation has changed a lot, and I think a lot of the physical styles inside the ring has changed. And it's I'm maybe stepping on my own toes here, but I think athletically, you're not going to find better athletes in the game of pro wrestling than in this particular generation. Athletically, these are the best wrestlers in the world right now, but you have to tie in some of that old school feel. You got to give them entertainment. You got to give them a story. You got to give me I can go outside this building right now and watch somebody punch a guy in the face. I don't want to pay $10, $20 to see that. I need a reason why you're punching him in the face. I need you to find a creative way to punch him in the face. I need you to sell me on the idea that I should continue to watch people punch him in the face for the remaining years. So that's the way that I see it, and that's the attitude that we bring to the table.
Well, the thing is about that attitude, the idea, you just said it. Vince comes up with an idea in his head and everything trickles down. That's been the way it's been since about 2002, where the last biggest competitor, WCW, was bought out. TNA has been in existence, and you're laughing. Oh,
because
my God.
if you want me to get in trouble, that this is the direction you want to go.
Well, then let's go. Let's go. Hold up. Downtown Sports is a show where we pull no freaking punches. Best sports show in Brooklyn. What do you want from us? So here's the deal.
I want you to continue to be the best.
Let's go there.
Thank you. So allow me to do that job. Thanks. So here's the deal. TNA was the company that was supposed to come out and supposed to supplant WWE, was supposed to do all this, supposed to do all that. You watch their matches in the ring, and I've never – it looks like a Cirque du Soleil show half the time with what they're doing with the X Division and even some of the heavyweight matches. But they're not gaining the traction, and now recently Spike TV has announced that they will not be renewing TNA's contract past October. What kind of effect do you think that has on the business?
Huge in the sense of, again, it goes back to presentation. Without that second company, without that competition, without the butting of heads, we saw what happened between those years when WCW and TNA, before TNA made it big, because TNA opened the doors pretty much after WCW had closed theirs. There was no real gap, but they weren't taken seriously until much later. I guess I'll go as far back as the Fox Sports days, about 2005 or so, when they started doing the weekly shows. That's when they kind of been taken more seriously. You said that the TNA was supposed to be the company that supplemented with WWE. I actually disagree with that, because in the beginning for Total Nonstop Action, they actually promoted themselves as somewhat of an alternative. They were bringing in guys like AJ Styles and Low Key and Jerry Lynn that were innovating on the indies. They were bringing in new talent. They were bringing in WWE guys to draw eyes, but these were the guys that they were going to plan for the future. They wanted to be the alternative. Somewhere along the way, they lost that focused.
They hired Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff.
Right.
He cut me off. I was about to throw that in.
Well, yeah, somewhere along
Well,
the
let's
way.
not forget Vince Russo as well.
He just got let go by TNA just now.
Well, then that's why
Well,
Spike let
Vince
TNA go.
To be fair, and you're not going to find, with the exception of people who've worked with Vince, you're not going to find too many guys that are anti-Russo than me. But even I have to give the guy credit in the sense of he's not completely at fault for what happened with TNA because he was there at the beginning when they were prospering. If we're going to give him crap for what happened, for the bad stuff, we have to give him the credit for the good, because when they started and they were starting to gain some speed and they got the Fox Sports Net deal and they started doing the Universal shows, he was a part of that process. So he wasn't a complete anchor to them, but when the good parts were starting to die out, he became a lot heavier, and yeah, there you go.
So what was the direction that you were going to get in trouble if I started talking about TNA? Let's talk about that direction.
Because there's some sort of unwritten rule in this business that unless you're on the main stage, you really have no business discussing the main stage. You're supposed to be humble, and you're supposed to just eat the crap sandwich that they're giving you every week and just pretend that it's okay and continue to tell people, please watch the product. You know, I'm a part of this business. It's pretty much the same as being a McDonald's employee, and if you walked up to the counter and said, hey, can I get a Big Mac? And the guy goes, please don't order that. It's disgusting. You'd get suspended. You'd get fired, and that's pretty much the unwritten rule we have here. So me being on the radio right now and saying, yeah, TNA sucks, that looks bad on me because I'm supposed to be promoting this business. But on the same token, TNA sucks. And I'm just not going to hold my tongue on everything. So, yeah, that's where I say.
Well, they're a rival company. So, I mean, at the end of the day, let's be realistic here. If they lose their cable deal, they're back to being an indie promotion just like you.
And they become competition.
So maybe you guys start cutting promos on Samoa Joe's. I mean, come on.
Well, I do want to bring this topic in here. Have other wrestling promotions like TNA, Ring of Honor, Chikara, WWE, have they been sending maybe scouts and maybe taking notice of 2KW Pro Wrestling, maybe wanting to add members to their organization?
Well, I'll answer that one. I can say honestly that most likely not at this juncture in time, because 2KW is still in its infancy in terms of its reboot, and it's coming back into the forefront. But I guarantee you give us some time. Give us some time to make a little headway. You give us some time to create a little buzz. You give us some time to get people talking, because I promise you people will be talking in the next 6 months, even less. Give us after August 9th. On August 10th, people will be talking.
Absolutely.
And the word will be 2KW.
Your next event will be the Divided We Stand pay-per-view, which will be held August 9th in the Bronx on Close Avenue at Daro's Fitness. Event will be at 8 p.m. Tickets $11.
$10 at the door.
$10 now?
The 11 was an online deal.
Oh,
It was
online.
the-
Online.
is
$10 at the gate.
So hold on. Now I got to get into something.
Okay.
You're selling tickets advanced for cheaper than at the door. For less money, for more money than at the door.
Well, as we say on the website, the extra $1 is the service fee. That's if you don't want to spend the extra. If you want to keep the 4 quarters in your pocket, you're more than welcome to. Come on down to the Bronx. We'll hand you a ticket for $10.
All right. Okay.
Hey, we were very upfront. There was no gimmicks to this. It wasn't an advanced deal. It was, listen, we were putting it on the website so you can use your credit card, but it's going to cost an extra $1.
Okay,
That's
so
about it.
all right, so that makes sense. The next question I have is, when it comes to tickets and somebody pays their $11 or $10 or however many dollars, is it like basically first come first serve for the fans? Are they
First come, first serve.
So basically, if you get there first, you're at ringside.
Basically.
You get there on time, you're at ringside. Get your ass there early. Can I say that? I apologize.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay? Get there early, you will be at the front row. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah,
We're trying to make
the
this a
doors-
fair deal
yeah.
for all of our fans. We have fans that have supported us for many years that are going to be there, as well as new fans that are laying their eyes on us for the first time that want to be in that front row, because we got a lot of hard-hitting action, and I do mean hard-hitting action coming at you.
All right, so then let's get into your program. What do we got? What do we got? Who do we have coming up?
All right, well, Chris Cage will be taking on the real effing deal, Mike Drastic. It will be the leadoff match of Divided We Stand.
So tell me how you're gonna. So tell me about this Mike Drastic character. Why do you wanna? Because as this gentleman has said, you're gonna explain why you want to hit him in the face. Why do you want to take this music stand? And
that exact music stand?
Thank you.
this exact
Music
music
stand.
stand,
Yep.
All right.
right? In fact, I'll ask station management. Maybe we can take it with you.
That'll work. That'll work.
If
why
you don't
do
use it, somebody will.
Why do you want to insert it into the rear end of this the real effing deal?
I love your choice of words.
That
by
was
the way.
graphic, yeah.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Mike Drastic and myself, our relationship. You see, me and Mike Drastic, back in the year 2011, we started in wrestling school together.
Wow.
We have trained together, we have learned together, we have traveled together, we have performed together as both rivals and teammates.
Wow.
And we have a very extensive history, not to mention the fact that we are actually very good friends.
Yes.
Outside, I'm not afraid to say that, outside of the business. However, 2 years ago in 2012, November of 2012, I had a falling out with the wrestling business, let's just say.
Wow.
And Mike Drastic was at my side at that time, and as I was being escorted out of the business, Mike Drastic stood by and idly watched as everything unfolded. Now, you fast forward that 2 years later, a guy like me, the absolute Kris Kage, who at one time thought I was done with the professional wrestling business, was given an offer I couldn't refuse by 2KW Pro Management. And it was the real effing deal, Mike Drastic. And I'm not going to say that I do not like Mike Drastic. I'm not going to say that I hate him. But let's just say that I do have a little bit of a score to settle with him. As someone that claimed to be one of my friends, one of my closest friends at one time, and has made quite a name for himself in the business in my absence. Wow. So the way I look at it is, you got a name for yourself. You're somebody out there. You're somebody who people are laying their eyes on. You're getting those views on YouTube. What happens when the absolute Kris Kage knocks you off the ladder? What happens when the absolute Kris Kage pins you 1, 2, 3? All those eyes, all that attention, all those girls that are loving you, they're going to be looking at this guy right here.
There we go.
Chris, I want to turn to you on a question. Describe a little bit about your wrestling style. Are you a technical type of wrestler, high flyer, kind of a little bit of both?
Well, when I started, I thought that I was going to be a high flyer and was going to be flip-flopping, flying all over the ring. You know, I grew up looking up to some of those type of guys. I'm a little bit of a smaller guy myself. So I looked up to the Rey Mysterios and the Eddie Guerreros and the Shawn Michaels and things like that. But as I began to learn, and the deeper my education in the business became, I changed my style quite drastically, no pun intended. And I do wrestle, I like to say I do wrestle a more grounded, technical style. I like to take the old mindset of break a body part without, if you're missing one arm, you can't really unload that much offense on me. Wow. If you're missing a leg, you know, you can't really stand, you can't run.
If you kill the head, the body will die.
So kind of like a Taz, William Regal type of
Absolutely.
wrestler. Yes, very good.
I've felt that firsthand, by the way. He's very good at what he does.
Okay.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, what's your wrestling style?
Oh boy. Well, it was also high flying until you can only wind up in the hospital but so many times. Because I'm a smaller guy like he just said a second ago. I'm a smaller guy, so usually, you know, I was used to being the guy that was thrown into the ring with the 6'5", 300-pound monster who needed to look good. So I would go in the ring and try to do the best that I could, and I would do the best that I could. That's why I wound up in the hospital so many times.
The dictionary term is jobber.
There you go. Can we do that at the show? That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so
Hey.
I got beat around so much. That's why I got the suit on now.
Hey, $50. I got you.
50. Oh, 50. That's we're negotiating right now. 50
Yeah,
bucks.
let's do it.
Oh man.
Look, I'm debuting.
You're a pretty big guy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, okay. Well,
throw the right color pair of spandex on you, and you might have something going.
all right. Maybe.
you can cut
really.
a promo. You can cut a promo.
Can I cut a promo? Well, let's find out because we got about 5 minutes left to go. And here's the deal right now. We're going to test your mic skills live right here on Downtown Sports. We're going to give you a little bit of that storytelling, that character action. So, the absolute Kris Kage, I want you to cut a promo on me.
You want me to cut a promo on you?
Yep.
I want you to cut a promo on me.
You want me to cut a promo on the mouth of the South?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Cut a promo on the Mouth of the South. Kris, I want you to get about 2 minutes on a clock.
2 minutes is a pretty long one, too.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Well, that'd be your length of time. You don't have to go for just 2 minutes. You can go shorter than that if you wish. But 2 minutes would be your limit.
That's a short Kris Cage promo, right?
That's a short one.
That's a short.
I think I cut it down to 2.
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
You have to omit some stuff.
You guys ready?
All right,
ready.
I'm ready. So in 3, 2, 1, cut your promo.
So I'm sitting here, and I'm standing, and I'm sitting. No, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm not standing. I am sitting looking at the mouth of the South. He's talking about he's coming to 2KW on August 9th. He wants to make a debut. He wants to make a name for himself. He wants to be a somebody. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you got your eyes locked on the somebody in 2KW Pro Wrestling. You want to be somebody in this business? You want to be somebody in 2KW Pro? You come to this guy right here. You got to beat this guy right here. You got to pin this guy's shoulders right here. I know you're coming in with your little polka dot pink spandex. You got your nice little hair, your little blonde hair coming out here. You're looking good. You look tough. You got a little, yeah, I like the look you got going on, but let me tell you something. And look at me when I'm telling you this. I wish there was a camera, just like you said, to look at me when I'm telling you this right now. You come into my world. You come into 2KW Pro. You come into my ring. And I guarantee you that after one night, because that's all it will take, after one night, I will have you questioning your wrestling career. I will have you taking your bag, taking it home, crying to your mama, crying yourself to sleep, because you will go to bed that night realizing that to be the man, you have to be the absolute Kris Kage.
I like it. Very well done.
Not bad, not bad.
Kris, I do want to ask you, if
wait, I don't get to respond?
Oh, yeah, sure, John. Go ahead. You got.
Hold on. So wait a minute. So
start again. Ready, and go.
So to be the man, I've got to be you.
You got to be me.
I got to be you. So that means I've got to be male pattern baldness, no real artistic way to go about your shaving yourself, looking like a wannabe Conan out of the WCW days. That's what I've got to be. So I got to do tequila sunrises, flipping rolling thunders, and try to wear pink spandex, I believe were the words that you said. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll come out in that pink spandex that you talked about, and I'll have the whole crowd wearing pink too. Because it's not going to be just for breast cancer support. They're going to be wearing pink, because pink is a color of remembrance, of dedication, of wondering how they're going to cope with the loss of the absolute biggest piece of trash I've ever seen, Kris Kage. So you can have your little match with Mike Drasnick, but look to your left, look to your right, look to the back. I might be coming around. You never know where I'm going to show up. But when I do, your ass will be lying flat on the mat.
Excellent work, both of you.
That's good.
I think even the pro wrestlers should be in WWE should be taking note
Is it
of
bad
that.
that when he did the trash
That
line,
good.
I heard
That was
like
pretty
Austin's
good.
voice in my head? It was like, the biggest piece of trash. That was awesome.
So how did I do? So let's grade it. Let's grade it.
I'll give you a C+.
C+. Wow.
Well, I cut the promo on you.
I'm trying to be nice here.
You don't have to be nice.
Come on, you can let things out here. Come on.
Professional opinion. It was you had content. You sounded like you lost yourself a little bit in the middle, but you gained speed again, and you ended it strong. It was good.
Very well done.
Very well done.
I'd be honest, you cut a better promo than 70% of the wrestling business.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot.
that's me being nice
Very
as
well said.
Half of the people in this city, they get in front of this microphone and they start to urinate themselves. So the fact that you can do a whole show like this, yeah, you definitely got some talent, brother.
Just forget the catheter bag that's right behind me.
Guys, we're gonna get you out of here on one more question. Really, just a two-part question. Kris, I'm gonna turn this to you. Do you ever see yourself one day going out there into the world and competing in WWE, maybe in TNA? And if so, a dream opponent you would one day love to face in a ring?
If the answer is John Cena, I'm going to smack you.
Well, actually, I am not a fan of John Cena, if I can make that public. I've never been.
I think I'm right behind you with that. I mean, either.
A lot of people say he's the hardest worker in the business.
He is. That is true.
I will not disagree with that. There are other reasons, because at the end of the day, I'm still a fan of this business. But I will give him the devil is due and give him his respect. Just not a personal fan. As far as myself and my career, as I've mentioned before, this is me jumping back into the shark-infested waters. I'm very excited, and I do have a little bit of confidence in what I'm going to offer to 2KW and the wrestling business as a whole. But in terms of WWE, to be perfectly honest, that was never really a goal of mine. Growing up, my biggest goal was to travel, was to see the world, and to compete internationally, because the way I look at it, the best wrestlers on this planet are international stars.
Very true.
And the quote-unquote world travelers. And those are the guys I want to get in the ring with. I want to get in the ring with the guys that are respected from coast to coast, like butter and toast, on the west, on the east, overseas. And I mean, you never know. You can never say never. But that my goal, and in terms of a dream opponent,
Yes.
I got to be honest with you. Anyone that I would say is a dream opponent of mine is either retired or dead.
I mean, like, Kurt Angle, if he comes back.
Kurt Angle,
maybe I
one of
wanna
the greatest
wrestle
of
Kurt
all
Angle.
time. Absolutely. That would be an honor. And, of course, Shawn Michaels, if I can get the chance to step in the ring, even with a 96-year-old Ric Flair, I would be able to die happy.
Well, I got somebody that, like, based upon your wrestling style, your look, you know how I'm in that promo I cut? I would love to see you get in the ring with a Conan.
I think Conan's a little like 20 years
Yeah.
past being able to
I think
hang
you
with
should
the
go to
absolute
Kurt
Chris
Angle.
Cage.
Get
I'd
him
rock
out
for
of
him.
Sharknado 2 and get him into the ring. Seriously.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
you have to add some rubber bands so that his neck could move, though. That's the problem.
Well, he
with
brought up Low Key was brought up, and I mean, Low Key is a guy. He traveled the world. He's from Brooklyn.
Someone I've
I
met
could-
personally.
We've
I've
worked
actually
with him. Yeah,
I've worked with him.
He just came back to Impact Wrestling last week. Impact right now is taping in the Hammerstein Ballroom, the Manhattan Civic Center. I think I'd love to see that. Chris Cage
Absolutely.
versus Low Key. That would be
Low-key,
tremendous.
Low-key, like I said, a world traveler, one of the best this business has to offer. From Brooklyn, extremely tough, one of the toughest men in the business, and it would be an absolute honor for me to step into the ring with a man like Low-key.
All right, so before we go, where do they find you? Where do they
Yes.
follow you? And is there anything else either of you would like to say?
Hit him with it, Orsini.
Well, you have anything to say before I start throwing all the plugs out? or-
Well, I guess I'll throw my own plug in there. Tonight, check out the social media that Orsini is about to plug because I will have a special message for the real F and Deal Mike Drastic directly, and you guys will be able to check it out. You'll know exactly what's on the absolute Chris Cage's
Yeah,
mind.
he expands a little bit more on that personal issue with Mike Drastic tonight. You mentioned earlier that it was a pay-per-view. That's an pay-per-view, internet pay-per-view. It's not going to be live on August 9th. We're going to release that information the day after. We have to figure out what day is good for the site. That site where you're going to be able to catch that on demand is the ufightlive.tv. That's U as in the letter U. Fightlive.tv. That's where you're going to be able to catch the show if you cannot make it. We urge you come by, but if you can't make it, that's where you can catch it. The main website, of course, 2kwpro.com is where you can get all the information on the Facebook and all that stuff. Special little our sponsors for the show, the ones who are helping us put this together, Mr. Thorogood's Cheesecakes, TNF Wrestling Podcast, and the North Atlantic Pro Hockey League are the guys that help us put this together. So we want to thank them. And, of course, the Bronx Wrestling Federation for giving us the venue for our show on August 9th. So, yes, please, 2kwpro.com. You can learn everything you want, basically, about us and upcoming shows.
Guys can be followed on Twitter /2kwpro, Facebook 2kwpro. Divided We Stand is Saturday, August 9th. Location 1123 Close Avenue in the Bronx. Take the 6 train to Elder Avenue if you're going by subway. It will be at Daro's Fitness. Chris Cage, the absolute Chris Cage, AJ Orsini, thank you both very much for being here today. It's really been a tremendous pleasure to have both
Thanks
of you.
for having us.
And Chris.
Best of luck on your match against Mike Drastic.
If you see me with a chair,
Stop poking the bear, man. I'm telling you.
if you see me with a chair,
Relax there, bro. Come
you
on,
know what's
son.
coming.
You know,
You know
just
what?
You
I
know
know we're
what's
trying to
coming.
get out of here, but he's calm now. August 9th, the minute he wakes up August 9th, he's not going to be this guy.
Then I'll probably be like halfway across Bronx by then. But you never know.
Trust that I will keep my eyes out for the mouth of the South on August 9th.
For sure.
Good luck, both of you. Chris, best of luck in your match. AJ, thank you both for being here today.
Thank you
Thanks.
for
I'm going to be
having us.
listening. I want to know more about this David Price thing.
All right. What
All
we're going to do
right.
now is we're going to take a break. When we come back at the 4:30 mark, we discuss a little more of the trade deadline, the grades, trades.
But before we go to break, we need to do something.
Yes, we do.
Carlos.
And that is the Downtown Sports Minute.
Go with that and then cut in the break. Be right back after this.
All right. Let's get that up now. All right. At 4:34, bunch of trades breaking news. David Price is in Detroit, and the Yankees get Martin Prado from the Arizona Diamondbacks to fill in a corner outfield. But we get with baseball. The Mets are off tonight. They come from a 11-2 blowout victory last night, and the Yankees fall to The Rangers 3-2 in the NBA. New coaching staff for Orlando Hollins. It is Paul Westphal, Tony Brown, Joe Wolf, and Jay Humphries. In the NFL, Giants running back David Wilson will miss the preseason opener against the Bills due to complications from his spinal fusion injury. And in NASCAR, Jeff Gordon wins the Brickyard 400 for a 5th time. I'm Carlos Montañez, and this was your Downtown Sports Minute on WBCR 1090 AM, your flagship home for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs and Downtown Sports, afternoons from 3:30 to 5:30. We'll be back with the trade deadline.